Surrounded by beauty, we respond in humility and gratitude for this unique property. As stewards of God's land, we create a path that maintains the complementary natural relationship between plants, space, and structures, a place of presence where our souls are drawn.
My sister came down a couple years ago and introduced me to a book called The Circle Maker by Mark Bitterman. And we both took a walk around the campus, and it was a prayer walk. And as we walked, we would both verbally say prayers and meditate on them a bit and continue walking. And I really enjoyed doing that and found it to be meaningful and just a nice way to pray. Then the idea of the path came up after I had done this with my sister, and it made me very excited to bring this to people's attention as a way to pray and meditate.
About 15 years ago, I began walking our dogs on this property, and I found myself taking the same path, the same walk, day after day. And I thought, wouldn't it be interesting when I'm old if we could have a path here at the chapel?
I believe it's been about a year and a half since Judy tentatively approached me with the idea of taking advantage of our location, the only natural hammock in this area, perhaps in Florida, and using it, maximizing it in a way that people who already come here just for a quiet place to be silent or to meditate can have a more well thought out option.
The sanctuary of Siesta Key Chapel is often referred to as God's treehouse. It was built among one of Florida's last natural hammocks, a place where lush trees thrive on a barrier island just inches above sea level.
The project was 2 years from the initial discussions to completion, and it was 3 or 4 days to actually do. The path is constructed of crushed shell, graded and crushed and compacted crushed shell, and measures approximately 1,300 feet long. It was conceived as a strolling path, an exploration path. To do so, it needs to be a minimum of 5 feet wide so that 2 people can walk abreast, perhaps holding hands. Utilizing 2 or 3 men and a skid steer loader and 2 or 3 large dump trucks full of shell, we're able to create a path and compact it. It weaves in and out of the trees to the extent that we could enrich the views and take advantage of the special parts of the habitat.
When I walked the path with others, that was really a unique opportunity to see how everybody else was experiencing the path and what they felt, what they heard, what they saw. When I walked it alone, the opportunity for me was even more important. I could just be with nature, and I could be quiet, and I could listen to the sounds around me. I could think quietly what to do next, and I could just be.
It's connected to a sanctuary. There's a certain quietness. It's a place where you can come and meditate, and it feels spiritual. And in the Christian world, we talk about holy spaces, and you get benefit from that here.
Right from the start, part of the vision is to include not only a quiet place of solitude for the chapel, but also for the community and for our neighbors. And as we get the word out that everyone is invited day or night to come and take advantage of this meditative space, I suspect that our neighbors will take us up on that. My perception of human nature is that a certain percentage of the population tends to be reflective and meditative and contemplative. And so I would think those who fit that definition, whether they're Christian or not, would really appreciate coming to a natural place and being able to be outside and go at their own pace.
In a rushed and noisy world, there is something about unhurried time in nature that opens us up to mystery and awe. It helps us slip away from busyness, anxiety, and tension, lets us make real connections with our loved ones, and remember that we have been created with a purpose and we are loved by the Lord.